Greetings, degenerates. I'm Remenim, and today we'll be rating the wizard subclasses. Oh, let's see here. There's 13 subclasses. We won't be going over the Unearthed Arcana ones because that would significantly increase our number, and most people don't allow them anyway. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We'll be starting with Abjuration. Abjuration is actually one of my favorite schools. At level 2 you get, like all school subclasses of the wizard. The golden time you must spend to copy an abjuration spell into your spellbook is halved. And you get Arcane Word, which whenever you cast an abjuration spell of first level or higher, you can simultaneously use a strand of the spell's magic to create a magical ward on yourself that lasts until you finish a long rest. The ward has hit points equal to twice your wizard level plus your int modifier. Whenever you take damage, the ward takes the damage instead. If this damage reduces the ward to 0 hit points, you take the remaining damage. While the ward has 0 hit points, it can't absorb damage, but its magic remains. Whenever you cast an abjuration spell of first level or higher, the ward regains a number of hit points equal to twice the level of the spell. Once you create the ward, you can't create it again until you finish a long rest. So the ward remains forever after you cast it. Well, until you take the long rest, but that's practically forever in D&D terms. At 6th level, you can use your reaction to aid the creature with the ward within 30 feet of you. So, if your ward has, let's say, 15 hit points and the creature attacks another guy 30 feet near you, you can use it to take the damage, but it's on a reaction, so... At 10th level, when you cast an abjuration spell that requires you to make an ability check as part of casting that spell, as in counterspell or dispel magic, you can add your proficiency bonus to that ability check. So at 10th level that would be +4, so pretty good. And at 14th level, you gain spell resistance. You have advantage on saving throws against spells, really good. And you have resistance against damage from spells, also really good. This is an amazing wizard subclass. And I would put it in A tier probably. This isn't as good as some of the others, but it's really interesting and well made compared to some of the others on this list. Okay, Blade Singing. This is probably one of the most used ones. It used to be that only elves could get this one, but they've changed it. I think in Tasha's, if I'm not mistaken. So at 2nd level, you can invoke magic called the Blade Song, as long as you aren't wearing medium or heavy armor or using a shield. You can use a bonus action to start the Blade Song, which lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you are incapacitated, if you don medium or heavy armor or a shield, or if you use 2 hands to make an attack with a weapon. You can also dismiss the Blade Song at any time without taking an action. While your Blade Song is active, you gain the following benefits. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to your intelligence modifier, a minimum of 1. This one is pretty good. Your walking speed increases by 10 feet, also really good. You have advantage on acrobatics checks, passable. And you gain a bonus to any constitution saving throw you make to maintain your concentration on a spell. The bonus equals your intelligence modifier, a minimum of 1. So yeah, 3 of these are really good. You can use the Blade Song feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So most definitely in most games you probably won't even run out of these, or when you do run out it will be enough. At 6th level you gain an extra attack whenever you take the attack action on your turn. Moreover, you can cast a spell. You can cast one of your cantrips, in place of one of those attacks. So yeah, this one's also pretty good. It's the only wizard that gets multi-attack. But it all goes downhill from here. So Song of Defense at 10th level. You can direct your magic to absorb damage while your Blade Song is active. When you take damage, you can use your reaction to expend one spell slot and reduce that damage to you by an amount equal to 5 times the spell's slot level. This one is an okay feature. It's not really that great in my opinion. Blade Song as a concept is really cool, but this feature specifically, you can probably use it in a crisis moment to ensure that you don't get downed or something. It's also on a reaction, so... Why would you use this when you can cast Shield as a reaction, you know? Not really that great. In most situations. At 14th level, you gain Song of Victory. You can add your intelligence modifier to the damage of your melee weapon attacks while your Blade Song is active. It's pretty decent. Not particularly good, because most of the time it's, what, a +5 to damage, so for a 14th level feat, it's, I mean, a class feature, it's not that great. But yeah, the first levels are extremely strong, and Blade Song is pretty decent. Pretty decent. So I'll put this in A tier. Maybe ahead of Abjuration, but we'll place it behind it for now. Okay, Chronergy Wizard. I think this is Matt Mercer's subclass, so whenever Matt Mercer makes a class or a subclass, it's either complete garbage, nobody will ever use it except for like the aesthetic, or it's very overpowered, and this one is pretty damn overpowered, I'd say. At 2nd level, you can add your intelligence modifiers to your initiative rolls. Amazing. Wizards always want to be first in combat, not like some other classes like the Barbarian or the Fighter. They don't really want to roll higher than the other members of the party, because they are the ones who want to take buffs like haste on them. So being ahead of them would definitely screw up the party initiative. At 2nd level, you also gain Chronal Shift, yeah. You can magically exert limited control over the flow of time around the creature. As a reaction, after you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can force the creature to reroll. You make this decision after you see whether the roll succeeds or fails. The target must use the result of the second roll. You can do this 2 times per long rest. This is a great feature. Prime feature, I would say. Some of your allies maybe get critted for a fuck ton of damage. Use this. If this creature rolls another crit, well, at least you tried, but that doesn't happen often. Some of your party members may be failing a save and they become stunned. You really don't want that to happen, so you can force them to reroll. It's a really good feature. At 6th level, as an action, you can magically force a large or smaller creature you can see within 60 feet of you to make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. Unless the saving throw is a success, the creature is encased in a field of magical energy until the end of your next turn or until the creature takes any damage. While encased in this way, the creature is incapacitated and has a speed of 0. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier. A minimum of once. You regain all expended uses after a long rest. Again, really damn good class feature. It's save or suck, but it has 60 feet of range and it's incapacitated, which is a really, really good one. It's a good effect to place on a creature. And you basically disable that person for the rest of the combat, and your allies can get really close and personal with it. It doesn't perform another save, so if they do it, they just fall down incapacitated. If they fail it, I mean. Yeah, pretty fucking good subclass so far, I'd say. At 10th level you gain Arcane Abeyance, or however you pronounce that. Whenever you cast a spell using a spell slot of 4th or lower, you can condense the spell's magic into a mote. The spell is frozen in time at the moment of casting and held with a grey bead for 1 hour. This bead is a tiny object with AC 15 and 1 hit point, and it is immune to poison and psychic damage. When the duration ends, or if the bead is destroyed, it vanishes in a flash of light and the spell is lost. A creature holding the bead can use its action to release the spell within, whereupon the bead disappears. The spell uses your spell attack bonus and save DC, and the spell treats the creature who released it as the caster for all other purposes. I found a typo on this website. Once you create a bead with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Really good feature. Want to give some utility to the fighter or someone else? Want to have them use their own concentration for really powerful spells? Yeah, this is an awesome feature, and damn, like, Matt Mercer really made Chronergy Wizard broken this time. Convergent Future. At 14th level, you can peer through possible futures and magically pull one of them into events around you, ensuring a particular outcome. When you or a creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to ignore the die roll and decide whether the number rolled is the minimum needed to succeed on one less number than that number. This one, honestly, this one just makes it extremely broken. Like, you just decide whether something succeeds or not. But it also comes at a pretty big cost. When you use this feature, you gain 1 level of exhaustion. Only by finishing a long rest can you remove a level of exhaustion gained in this way. So yeah, this is basically something you use only to really save your party in severe times. Like, shit has to be really dire for you to use this willingly. Ay ay ay. So yeah, we're gonna be placing Chronergy in definitely this tier. Okay, onwards to Conjuration. So at 2nd level, the golden time you spend to copy a Conjuration spell into your spellbook is halved. Good. But every school wizard gets these. At 2nd level, when you select this school, you can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object in your hand or on the ground in an unoccupied space that you can see within 10 feet of you. This object can be no longer than 3 feet on a side and weigh no more than 10 pounds. And its form must be that of a non-magical object that you have seen. The object is visibly magical, radiating dim light out to 5 feet. The object disappears after 1 hour when you use this feature again, or if it takes any damage. So yeah, pretty shitty one if you ask me. It has some utility in that maybe you can conjure up something that your party can use, like a crowbar or a small ladder, since it's only 3 feet on a side. But yeah, not a good one. Definitely terrible. Another useless one, Benign Transportation at 6th level. You can use your action to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see. Alternatively, you can choose a space within range that is occupied by a small or medium creature. If that creature is willing, you both teleport, swapping places. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, or if you cast a conjuration spell of 1st level or higher. So yeah, not good at all. Conjuration really sucks for the first two features. But it gets better. At the 10th level, while you are concentrating on a conjuration spell, your concentration can't be broken as a result of taking damage. Yeah. Fucking good. And at 14th level, any creature that you summon or create with a conjuration spell has 30 temporary hit points. Do bear in mind that most campaigns don't really make it to 14th level, so you probably won't see this one that often. Even a 10th level is a long stretch for most campaigns, but yeah. Conjuration is not that good. I would place it in high C tier or low B tier. Let's put it at the top of C for now. Okay. Divination. So like with all features, all divination spells are halved. Their cost is halved. And Portent. Starting at 2nd level, when you choose the school, glimpses of the future begin to press into your awareness. When you finish a long rest, roll 2 d20s and record the numbers rolled. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature that you can see with one of these foretelling rolls. You must choose to do so before the roll, and you can replace a roll in this way only once per turn. Each foretelling roll can be used only once. When you finish a long rest, you lose any unused foretelling rolls. So this is extremely useful. Let's say, I don't know, your DM makes you roll for crafting certain things. You can just use Portent for that, and if you roll a 19 or 20 or whatever, just use that roll when the creature tries to do something. Especially if you know they have to do it or want to do it. It's really good for planning. In combat, it has its uses. You can... But the fact that you have to do it before the creature actually rolls and not afterwards makes it not that good. But yeah, it's basically a guaranteed miss or hit. So... really good feature for 2nd level. At 6th level, you gain Expert Divination. Casting divination spells comes so easily that it expends only a fraction of your spell casting efforts. When you cast a divination spell of 2nd level or higher using a spell slot, you regain 1 expended spell slot. The slot you regain must be of a level lower than the spell you cast and can't be higher than 5th level. Again, really useful feature. You basically recycle spell slots. Do bear in mind that you can't gain more spell slots than your maximum, so you do have to plan it out a little bit if you want to make use of this. At 10th level, you gain the Third Eye. You can use your action to increase your powers of perception. When you do so, choose one of the following benefits, which lasts until you are incapacitated or you take a short or long rest. You can't use this feature again until you finish a short or long rest. So, you can gain Dark Vision, up to 60 feet. Ethereal Sight, you can see into the ethereal plane within 60 feet of you. Greater Comprehension, you can read any language. And See Invisibility, you can see invisible creatures and objects within 10 feet of you that are within line of sight. So, yeah, pretty good feature. It's... okay, pretty good is a long stretch. It has a lot of utility. So it's not terribly bad, but it's not useful in all situations. Like Dark Vision, if you already have it, useless. Ethereal Sight probably doesn't come up much in campaigns. Greater Comprehension saves you a ritual cast, so 10 minutes most of the time. And See Invisibility is the actually only useful one, but it's only 10 feet, so yeah. It has its uses, but it's not great. At 14th level, we get to the good stuff. The visions of your dreams intensify and paint a more accurate picture in your mind of what is to come. You roll 3 d20s for your portent feature rather than 2. So yeah, just a flat out improvement. A really good one at that, by 50%. This class is amazing. And I would place it in S tier just because of portent, honestly. But behind Chronergy. Divination also is really cool to play as a halfling just because of the halfling luck feature and feats. You can have so much control over the dice that you'll probably piss off your DM. Okay, let's get into the less good ones with Enchantment Wizard. So with all of these, as always, the cost is halved for enchantment spells into your spellbook. At second level, you gain Hypnotic Gaze. When you choose this school, your soft words and enchanting gaze can magically enthrall another creature. As an action, choose one creature that you can see within 5 feet of you. If the target can see or hear you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your wizard spell save DC, or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn. The charmed creature's speed drops to 0 and the creature is incapacitated and visibly dazed. On subsequent turns, you can use your action to maintain the effect, extending its duration until the end of your next turn. However, the effect ends if you move more than 5 feet away from the creature, if the creature can neither see nor hear you, or if the creature takes damage. Once the effect ends, or if the creature succeeds on its initial saving throw against this effect, you can't use this feature on that creature again until you finish a long rest. So, it's not that good. It's basically use an action to deny a creature an action. For bosses, it can be really, really useful if it fails it. But yeah, if it just uses one legendary resistance, you... Oh my god, I said existence, this tilts me. If it just uses one legendary resistance, you can't use this feature again, and you've just placed yourself in melee range of the boss, so... It's not terrible, but not that great either. Instinctive Charm. At 6th level, when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to divert the attack, provided that another creature is within the attack's range. The attacker must make a wisdom saving throw against your wizard spell save DC. On a failed save, the attacker must target the creature that is closest to it, not including you or itself. If multiple creatures are closest, the attacker chooses which one to target. On a successful save, you can't use this feature on the attacker again until you finish a long rest. You must choose to use this feature before knowing whether the attack hits or misses. Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. So creatures that can be charmed are actually pretty common in the monster manual and in all subsequent releases. It's within 30 feet and on a reaction. So... And it has to make a save. This one is decent. It's not particularly good. But yeah, it's decent. Again, most of the time, why would you use this feature when you can just use shield? No, just... At 10th level, when you cast an enchantment spell of 1st level or higher that targets only one creature, you can have it target the second creature. Decent. But I believe enchantment spells are actually the ones with the fewest spells. Yeah, I think that's right. So, not a whole lot of options for this one. It's pretty mediocre to bad, honestly. Okay, let's move on to Alter Memories. At 14th level, you gain the ability to make a creature unaware of your magical influence on it. When you cast an enchantment spell to charm one or more creatures, you can alter one creature's understanding so that it remains unaware of being charmed. Pretty good. Plays well on the flavor. Additionally, once before the spell expires, you can use your action to try to make the chosen creature forget some of the time it spent charmed. The creature must succeed on an intelligence saving throw against your wizard spell save DC, or lose a number of hours of its memories equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. You can make the creature forget less time, and the amount of time can't exceed the duration of your enchantment spell. So it solves most of the problems that charm spells have, or mind control spells have, and that once the creature awakes it will remember what it did and probably be pissed off at you for what you made it do. But yeah, enchantment really isn't that great of a wizard school, so I'll place it in probably the bottom of D tier, or honestly even F tier. This is a toss-up for me, so I'm gonna wait a bit until I decide what to do with it. Let's move on. Evocation School. As with all of these schools, the golden time you must spend to copy an evocation spell into your spellbook is halved. Sculpt spells. At 2nd level, you can create pockets of relative safety within the effects of your evocation spells. When you cast an evocation spell that affects other creatures that you can see, you can choose a number of them equal to 1 plus the spell's level. The chosen creatures automatically succeed on their saving throws against the spell, and they take no damage if they would normally take half damage on a successful save. Really good one. Have you been pissed off about AoE spells before? Like Fireball, which is evocation? Well, here you go. This solves all of your problems. Now you can cast fireballs right on top of your friends and they won't yell at you for it. At 6th level, you gain Potent Cantrip. Your damaging cantrips affect even creatures that avoid the brunt of the effect. When a creature succeeds on a saving throw against your cantrip, the creature takes half the cantrip's damage, if any, but suffers no additional effect from the cantrip. So this one isn't that great. Most of the wizard cantrips that you want to use are spell attacks, so saving throws on cantrips really aren't that good. I don't know. This can work if you take feats that allow you to pick cantrips like Toll the Dead from other classes. But as is, this really isn't a great feature for wizards. At 10th level, you gain Empowered Evocation. You can add your intelligence modifier, a minimum of +1, to the damage roll of any wizard evocation spell that you cast. The damage bonus applies to 1 damage roll of a spell, not multiple rolls. So, yeah. If you have a spell like, forgot what it's called. That one spell where you shoot 3 firebolts or something like that. If you have a spell like that, you can only use it on one of the spell rolls, but yeah. This on AoE spells, pretty good. It increases the damage to everyone you get into them, and using your 2nd level Sculpt Spells feature, you can choose to make your allies ignore it. Amazing. At 14th level, you gain Overchannel. You can increase the power of your simpler spells. When you cast a wizard spell of 5th level or lower that deals damage and isn't a cantrip, you can deal maximum damage with that spell. The first time you do so, you suffer no adverse effects. If you use this feature again before you finish a long rest, you take 2d12 necrotic damage for each level of the spell, immediately after you cast it. Each time you use this feature again before finishing a long rest, the necrotic damage per spell increases by 1d12. This damage ignores resistance and immunity. So, yeah, this is a pretty decent feature. You can probably get away with doing this twice, or depending on the situation, even more times, if you're not being targeted or are behind cover. And maxing out the damage of a spell is really, really useful. This entire subclass is focused on damage, honestly, so yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it doesn't have anything related to utility. So I would place this one at the bottom of A tier. It's a solid choice. It's pretty funny to not hit your friends with a fireball, especially if they don't know about this feature. Oh, I cast a fireball right on top of you. Oh, you bastard, you're trying to kill us. Nope. And they ignore the damage completely. Great, great school. Let's move on to Graviturgy. At 2nd level, as an action, you can magically alter the weight of one object or creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The object or creature must be large or smaller, the target's weight is halved or doubled for up to 1 minute, or until your concentration ends, as if you were concentrating on a spell. While the weight of a creature is halved by this effect, the creature's speed increases by 10 feet. It can jump twice as far as normal, and has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. While the weight of a creature is doubled by this effect, the creature's speed is reduced by 10 feet, and it has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. Upon reaching 10th level in this class, you can target an object or a creature that is huge or smaller. So, not especially good. You can use it to buff your allies. It's more of a utility thing, and having this at level 2 isn't that great. But yeah, increasing a creature's speed by 10 feet is half decent. It's basically half the mobile feat. But it's on concentration, so... Yeah, not a great feature to have at level 2. Pretty terrible. At 6th level, you gain Gravity Well. Whenever you cast a spell on a creature, you can move the target 5 feet to an unoccupied space of your choice if the target is willing to move. The spell hits it with an attack, or it fails a saving throw against the spell. So, just another pretty terrible feat. Moving it 5 feet away, maybe it has some utility, but it's not a good one. Not a good one at all. At level 10, Violent Attraction. When another creature that you can see within 60 feet of you hits with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to increase the attack's velocity, causing the attack's target to take an extra 1d10 damage of the weapon's type. Alternatively, if a creature within 60 feet of you takes damage from a fall, you can use your reaction to increase the fall's damage by 2d10. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, a minimum of once. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This one is okay. It's honestly on the weak side. Man, Graviturgy really sucks. At 14th level, you gain Event Horizon. As an action, you can magically emit a powerful field of gravitational energy that tugs at other creatures for up to 1 minute or until your concentration ends, as if you were concentrating on a spell. For the duration, whenever a creature hostile to you starts its turn within 30 feet of you, it must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, it takes 2d10 force damage, and its speed is reduced to 0 until the start of its next turn. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage, and every foot it moves this turn costs 2 extra feet of movement. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, or until you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. So this is actually the first good feature, and it's at level 14. It's honestly pretty awesome. It triples their movement in a 30-foot radius from you, so it makes it really hard for creatures to reach you. It also doesn't make them immune if they succeed, so they do this every turn they are in your field. Yeah, a really good feature, but it's at level 14 and most campaigns don't make it that long. So, with all of these considered, I'm gonna put Graviturgy at the top of D tier, above Enchantment. Okay, time for Illusion. As always, illusion spells cost half and take half the time to copy into your spellbook. Improved Minor Illusion. At 2nd level you learn the Minor Illusion cantrip. If you already know this cantrip, you learn a different wizard cantrip of your choice. The cantrip doesn't count against your number of cantrips known. When you cast Minor Illusion, you can create both a sound and an image with a single casting of the spell. So this can be pretty useful. It has some utility. The fact that Minor Illusion is actually decent now with this feature definitely makes this class not F tier worthy. Just because I really, really like Minor Illusion and illusion spells in general. And in general. Oh Christ. At 6th level, you gain Malleable Illusions. When you cast an illusion spell that has a duration of 1 minute or longer, you can use your action to change the nature of that illusion, using the spell's normal parameters for the illusion, provided that you can see the illusion. So, yeah, you can change it at will. It gives you more flexibility. It's useful for making your illusions more believable. But honestly, this entire subclass is, does your DM like illusions or not? If he doesn't, they probably won't matter. These features probably won't end up mattering, and you'll just be left with a wizard that has some cool flavor to him. At 10th level, you gain Illusory Self. You can create an illusory duplicate of yourself as an instant, almost instinctual reaction to danger. When a creature makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to interpose the illusory duplicate between the attacker and yourself. The attack automatically misses you, then the illusion dissipates. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. So this is a shittier version of Portent or the feature from Chronergy Wizard. It only works on yourself and only once per short rest. Yeah. It's more useful than the other two, combat especially, but not a great one. Not a great one. Illusory Reality. At 14th level, you have learned the secret of weaving shadow magic into your illusions to give them a semi-reality. When you cast an illusion spell of first level or higher, you can choose one inanimate, non-magical object that is part of the illusion and make that object real. You can do this on your turn as a bonus action while the spell is ongoing. The object remains real for 1 minute. For example, you can create an illusion of a bridge over a chasm and then make it real, long enough for your allies to cross. The object can't deal damage or otherwise directly harm anyone. So, a bit limited in that it can't do damage. But, yeah, good utility. It's 14th level, so having these classes that just give you the good shit in the late game as the last feature really doesn't bode well for the subclass itself. Yeah, illusion can be low D tier if your DM makes the NPCs or likes illusions and has them affect the world around you more, and that people get fooled by them or they are unsuspicious upon seeing one. But in general, the illusion wizard is probably F tier, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. Necromancy. As always, the golden time you must spend to copy a necromancy spell into your spellbook is halved. Grim Harvest. At second level, you gain the ability to reap life energy from creatures you kill with your spells. Once per turn, when you kill one or more creatures with a spell of first level or higher, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell's level, or 3 times its level if the spell belongs to the school of necromancy. Once you don't gain this benefit for killing constructs or undead. It's okay. You regain hit points, so if you're full, this doesn't do anything. So yeah, it's on the better side of a second level feature for wizards, but it's not as good as some of the ones in A tier. In fact, I would argue that the only one it's better than is Abjuration, probably. At 6th level, you gain Undead Thralls. You add the Animate Dead spell to your spellbook if it's not there already. When you cast Animate Dead, you can target one additional corpse or pile of bones, creating another zombie or skeleton as appropriate. Whenever you create an undead using a necromancy spell, it has additional benefits. The creature's hit point maximum is increased by an amount equal to your wizard level. The creature adds your proficiency bonus to its weapon damage rolls. So yeah, this makes Animate Dead a lot better, and some of the other necromancy spells that create undead also better. It's very flavorful, and I like this school a lot, because even if it's flavorful, it's not useless. Depending on the world you play in, though, having a bunch of undead after you might not give you the best rep. Okay, at 10th level you gain Inured to Undeath. You have resistance to necrotic damage, it's fine as a feature, and your hit point maximum can't be reduced. Situational, but okay. You have spent so much time dealing with undead and the forces that animate them that you have become inured to some of their worst effects. So yeah, it's a nice feature. It's not particularly good, but decent. Command Undead. At 14th level, you can use magic to bring undead under your control, even those created by other wizards. As an action, you can choose one undead that you can see within 60 feet of you. That creature must make a charisma saving throw against your wizard spell save DC. If it succeeds, you can't use this feature on it again. If it fails, it becomes friendly to you and obeys your commands until you use this feature again. Intelligent undead are harder to control in this way. If the target has an intelligence of 8 or higher, it has advantage on the saving throw. If it fails the saving throw and has an intelligence of 12 or higher, it can repeat the saving throw at the end of every hour until it succeeds and breaks free. So This one is extremely situational. It would be really cool if it came up though. Fighting undead can... When fighting undead, this can be rather helpful. But yeah, it's situational and it's a 14th level feature. Not particularly good. Overall, I would place Necromancy at the bottom of C tier, under Conjuration. It's a nice school, but it's not particularly good. Actually, I'll place Conjuration in B tier. I think even if most of its features are terrible early levels, Conjuration is... do I not? This is tough, man. Now I'll place it back in C tier. Okay, let's move on. The Wizard Order of Scribes. This is the new one from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's interesting. At second level, as a bonus action, you can magically create a tiny quill in your free hand. The magic quill has the following properties. The quill doesn't require ink when you write with it. It produces ink in the color of your choice on the writing surface. The time you must spend to copy a spell into your spellbook equals 2 minutes per spell level if you use the quill for the transcription. You can erase anything you write with the quill if you wave the feather over the text as a bonus action, provided the text is within 5 feet of you. This quill disappears if you create another one or if you die. Awakened Spellbook. Using specially prepared inks and ancient incantations passed down by your wizardly order, you have awakened an arcane sentience within your spellbook. At second level, while you are holding the book, it grants you the following benefits. You can use the book as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. When you cast a wizard spell with a spell slot, you can temporarily replace its damage type with a type that appears in another spell in your spellbook, which magically alters the spell's formula for this casting only. The latter spell must be of the same level as the spell slot you expend. When you cast a wizard spell as a ritual, you can use the spell's normal casting time, rather than adding 10 minutes to it. Once you use this benefit, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. If necessary, you can replace the book over the course of a short rest by using your wizardly quill to write arcane sigils in a blank book or a magic spell book to which you are attuned. At the end of the rest, your spellbook's consciousness is summoned into the new book, which the consciousness transforms into your spellbook, along with all its spells. If the previous book still existed somewhere, all the spells vanish from its pages. Okay, so this is really flavorful. It cuts down on the time needed to cast ritual spells once. So yeah. You can also change damage types of spells, which has its uses, but it's really just a lot of utility in one single feature, which isn't bad. At 6th level, you gain Manifest Mind. You can conjure forth the mind of your awakened spellbook. As a bonus action, while the book is on your person, you can cause the mind to manifest as a tiny spectral object, hovering in an unoccupied space of your choice within 60 feet of you. The spectral mind is intangible and doesn't occupy its space, and it sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. While manifested, the spectral mind can hear and see, and it has dark vision with a range of 60 feet. The mind can telepathically share with you what it sees and hears, no action required. Whenever you cast the wizard spell on your turn, you can cast it as if you were the spectral mind's space instead of your own, using its senses. You can do so a number of times per day equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. As a bonus action, you can cause the spectral mind to hover up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you or it can see. It can pass through creatures but not objects. The spectral mind stops manifesting if it is ever more than 300 feet away from you, if someone casts Dispel Magic on it, if the Awakened Spellbook is destroyed, if you die, or if you dismiss the Spectral Mind as a bonus action. Once you conjure the mind, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of any level to conjure it again. So, again, this is a lot of utility in a spell. It's basically a better Find Familiar from which you can cast spells. It's really cool and a good feature to have. At 10th level you gain Master Scrivener. Oh man, this fucking subclass is just a huge ass wall of text. I'm getting tired and sweaty just reading. Christ. At 10th level, whenever you finish a long rest, you can create one magic scroll by touching your wizardly quill to a blank piece of paper or parchment and causing one spell from your awakened spellbook to be copied onto the scroll. The spellbook must be within 5 feet of you when you make the scroll. The chosen spell must be of 1st or 2nd level and must have a casting time of 1 action. Once in the scroll, the spell's power is enhanced, counting as 1 level higher than normal. You can cast a spell from the scroll by reading it as an action. The scroll is unintelligible to anyone else, and the spell vanishes from the scroll when you cast it or when you finish your next long rest. You are also adept at crafting spell scrolls, which are described in the treasure chapter of the Dungeon Master's Guide. The gold and time you must spend to make such a scroll is halved if you use your wizardry quill. Overall, not bad. The fact that only you can use the scroll is not that great, but it's 1 level higher and it's better than a lot of the features we've seen at 10th level for some of the lower end subclasses. One with the word. At 14th level, your connection to your awakened spellbook has become so profound that your soul has become entwined with it. While the book is on your person, you have advantage on all intelligence arcana checks, as the spellbook helps you remember magical lore. Moreover, if you take damage while your spellbook's mind is manifested, you can prevent all of that damage to you by using your reaction to dismiss the spectral mind, using its magic to save yourself. Then roll 3d6. The spellbook temporarily loses spells of your choice that have a combined spell level equal to that roll or higher. For example, if the roll's total is 9, spells vanish from the book that have a combined level of at least 9, which could mean 1 9th level spell, 3 3rd level spells, or some other combination. If there aren't enough spells in the book to cover this cost, you drop to 0 hit points. Until you finish 1d6 long rests, you are incapable of casting the lost spells, even if you find them on a scroll or in another spellbook. After you finish the required number of rests, the spells reappear in the spellbook. Once you use this reaction, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. So, yeah, this one isn't that good. It can be used to block a really huge attack or make sure you get away at the last moment, but the cost is too severe for it, honestly. Losing your spells if you don't have a lot is terrible. Especially because you regain the lost spells after 1d6 long rests, which, if you roll a 6, it can screw you up for a long time, maybe multiple sessions if you're unlucky. So, yeah, a really cool one. It has a lot of utility. You can make spell scrolls that are cheaper, which, depending on your party composition, might not be useful at all or really useful. So just because of the flavor and how it's written and the utility it brings, I'm gonna put this one in B tier. Yes, above Conjuration even. Okay, we're at the last two. Transmutation. As with all of these cool subclasses, the golden time you must spend to copy a transmutation spell into your spellbook is halved. At the second level, you gain minor alchemy. You can temporarily alter the physical properties of one non-magical object, changing it from one substance into another. You perform a special chemical procedure on one object composed entirely of wood, stone, but not a gemstone, iron, copper, or silver, transforming it into a different one of those materials. For each 10 minutes you spend performing the procedure, you can transform up to 1 cubic foot of material. After 1 hour or until you lose your concentration, as if you were concentrating on a spell, the material reverts to its original substance. Yeah, you can use this one maybe to swindle some shopkeepers or people that you don't like, but it's not that useful outside of that. Okay, at 6th level you gain Transmuter Stone. You can spend 8 hours creating a Transmuter Stone that stores the transmutation magic. You can benefit from the stone yourself or give it to another creature. A creature gains a benefit of your choice as long as the stone is in the creature's possession. When you create the stone, choose the benefit from the following options. Dark vision up to 60 feet, an increase of speed of 10 feet while the creature is unencumbered, proficiency in constitution saving throws, resistant to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. Your choice when you choose the benefit. Each time you cast a transmutation spell of 1st level or higher, you can change the effect of your stone if the stone is on your person. If you create a new transmuter stone, the previous one ceases to function. So, not that good of a feature. The increase in speed is probably the best one out here, and the dark vision too if you don't already have it. Resistance is nice, but yeah, it's situational, and you can change it in combat with a transmutation spell, so if the situation does come up where you might need resistance against cold, fire, lightning, or thunder, you can do it on the fly. You can also give this spell to someone else this stone to someone else in your party that doesn't have dark vision, so it sort of solves that problem. Not a bad one to have, because you can give it to anyone. But yeah, not that great for a 6th level feature. At 10th level you gain Shape Changer. You add the Polymorph spell to your spellbook, which honestly at 10th level you should already have. If it's not there already, you can cast Polymorph without expending a spell slot. When you do so, you can target only yourself and transform into a beast whose challenge rating is 1 or lower. Once you cast Polymorph in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest, though you can still cast it normally using an available spell slot. This is utility. Challenge rating 1 or lower means you can transform into a flying beast or something small that you can like creep into places and see things with. It's not bad, but yeah, it's another utility spell, a utility feature. It's not that great. Master Transmuter. You can use your action at 14th level to consume the reserve of transmutation magic stored within your transmuter stone in a single burst. When you do so, choose one of the following effects. Your transmuter stone is destroyed and can't be remade until you finish a long rest. Major Transformation. You can transmute one non-magical object, no larger than a 5-foot cube, into another non-magical object of similar size and mass, and of equal or lesser value. You must spend 10 minutes handling the object to transform it. So, pretty good one. Panacea. You remove all curses, diseases, and poisons affecting a creature that you touch with the Transmuter Stone. The creature also regains all its hit points. A decent one. Can be useful in an emergency, but there are spells that solve all of these problems separately. So, yeah, not especially good. Restore life. You cast the Raise Dead spell on a creature you touch with the Transmuter Stone, without expending a spell slot or needing to have the spell in your spellbook. This one is decent. And Restore Youth. You touch the Transmuter Stone to a willing creature, and that creature's apparent age is reduced by 3d10 years, so a minimum of 13 years. This effect doesn't extend the creature's lifespan. So yeah, if you have a character in your party that looks old but wants to look younger, you can use this. I'm also sure that a lot of noblemen and women around the world would pay a lot of money for this feature. So yeah, wanna play a big money-making class? Get Transmuter and reach level 14. I'm gonna place Transmutation at the bottom of... Actually, between Conjuration and Necromancy, I think. Nah. Under Necromancy. There we go. I think D tier is the best for Transmutation, since the good features come at level 14 and they're utility mostly, not things you can use in combat. Okay, and now the last one. War Wizard. At second level, you have learned to weave your magic to fortify yourself against harm. When you are hit by an attack or you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain a +2 bonus to your AC, or a +4 bonus to a saving throw. When you use this feature, you can't cast spells other than cantrips until the end of your next turn. So you can use this an unlimited number of times, but it does screw up your turn. If you intended to cast a spell, that is. So, a pretty useful one. It can help against save or suck spells. Most of the time your DM will tell you what the necessary DC is, so you can make use of this really well. If it's a save or suck and you don't want to perish, yeah, pretty good feature. Tactical Wit. At the second level, your keen ability to assess tactical situations allows you to act quickly in battle. You can give yourself a bonus to your initiative rolls equal to your intelligence modifier. Again, wizards are really want to go first in combat, so anything that helps with your initiative roll is good. Power Surge. Starting at 6th level, you can store magical energy within yourself to later empower your damaging spells. You can store a maximum number of power surges equal to your intelligence modifier, a minimum of 1. Whenever you finish a long rest, your number of power surges resets to 1. Whenever you successfully end a spell with Dispel Magic or Counterspell, you gain 1 power surge, as you steal magic from the spell you foiled. If you end a short rest with no power surges, you gain 1 power surge. Once per turn, when you deal damage to a creature or object with a wizard spell, you can spend 1 power surge to deal extra force damage to that target. The damage is equal to half your wizard level. This one isn't that good, but again, more damage can't be too bad. Yeah, it's a good one, I guess. Or grumble. Deals extra damage only equal to half your wizard level, and it's honestly only once most of the time. Yeah, it's decent for 6th level. Not too bad. At 10th level, you gain Durable Magic. The magic you channel helps ward off harm. When you maintain concentration on a spell, you have +2 bonus to AC and all saving throws. Really good one. As a wizard, you'll probably be keeping concentration all the time. If you're not, you're playing the class wrong, or you're doing some type of really odd build. Okay, at 14th level you gain Deflecting Shroud. Your arcane deflection becomes infused with deadly magic. When you use your arcane deflection feature, you can cause magical energy to arc from you. Up to 3 creatures of your choice within 60 feet of you each take force damage equal to half your wizard level. Again, more damage, it's half your wizard level. It's not bad because it enhances a feature you already have, instead of adding a new one on your reaction or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Honestly, this class, most of the good stuff is in the first 2 levels. And at 10th level, of course, because having a +2 bonus to AC and saving throws in addition to your arcane deflection is really damn good. So yeah, War Wizard, I would say, is probably low S tier behind Divination. Just because Divination has so many uses with that portent. So yeah, that's the tier list. Please tell me if you agree or disagree with what I've said here, or if I'm a dumbass. Don't forget this is all subjective, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.